The article, Never Say Anything a Kid Can Say, was full of questioning strategies and tips. The author's first tip is the title of the article. When tempted to tell students something, ask a question instead, but those questions must be good questions, such as open-ended questions. More of the questions should be about the process instead of just the product. These kinds of questions require students to reflect on and explain their thinking. The author also suggests replacing lectures with sets of questions and to be patient. Give students enough time to think about their response. For me, the entire premise of the article is that if a student can explain the concept or answer to a question well enough to be understood, they understand the concept. The first quote that stood out to me was on the first page. Eventually, I concluded that if my students were to ever really learn mathematics, they would have to do the explaining and I the listening. For me, the whole article is summed up in this quote. The author makes this statement when thinking about his early teaching. Through his demonstrations and explanations, he said he was learning a lot, but most of his students were not. There's a saying that says something along the lines that if you want to truly understand something, be prepared to teach it to someone else. To be able to teach something, I must understand the concept first. So, if a student can explain something well, then he must have a good grasp of the content. The next quote I liked is found on page 41. A student should be able to learn something from answering my question, and I should be able to learn something about what the student knows or does not know from her or his response. Open-ended questions, questions for which there might be more than one answer, and questions that require a student to reflect on and analyze his thinking are the best types of questions to present to students. These questions get students to really think about the question, about the material or content, and then the answer. Questions that have more than one possible outcome also spur on some good discussions within the class. My last quote is also from page 41. Asking a shy, quiet student a question when I know that he or she has a good response is a great strategy for building confidence and self-esteem. This comment resonates with me because I was one of those shy students, and the less confident I was with the material, the shyer I became in class. I think this is a great way to help build confidence with students who may struggle with shyness or with a specific subject. As we listen to conversations in the classroom, we will find the students with good responses, and we can have them share with the class. If a student is particularly shy, we can gently let them know ahead of time so they can mentally prepare. The fact that we know they have the correct answer or a good answer should help them be less embarrassed about speaking in front of class. Constructivism says that we learn best by making our own sense out of the world, through our experiences and by reflecting on those experiences. Asking more open-ended questions and questions that require students to reflect or explain their thinking encourages students to think deeper. I will keep this article, which is full of questioning strategies and tips, and refer to it frequently when I have my own classroom. I think questioning will be something I will have to prepare for ahead of time and practice daily.